Scott, man, you don't know how happy I am to see you, brother, because I remember back in the day when I was working at 680 News. Um, we did, I don't know how many interviews, man. It seemed like almost every year we were talking about Finger 11 releasing a single or album. If it wasn't there, then it was at the Much Music Video Awards where we would be doing interviews there, or when Much would do the intimate and interactives and you guys would do that, I would be in the audience, and I was always promised to get an interview with you guys. I mean, you guys really were the sound for not just back then, but a real unique Canadian rock style, to the point where, as we know, the WWE back then, WWF was using a lot of your music in for their wrestlers and just for whatever they wanted to show, man. How does it feel to have that kind of legacy?
It's I like it when you lay it out like that. You know, you sometimes forget. That feels like we were a big deal. I really that feels good.
You guys were a big deal, man. And like I said, you got a voice. I got to tell you something, man. Honest to God, one of the most underrated rock voices in history, period. Because, man, you could hit whatever note, and there was no little twitching around on the board. You hit it all the time, man. Incredible voice.
Thank you very much. I mean, my secret is I love to sing. I've always loved to sing. Nothing else feels like singing. And then, the trick to rock and roll singing is as much as you can, just sing it like you mean it. Like everything with intention, right? So if it's going to be a wrong note, it's going to be the world's loudest wrong note. So just, like that would be that's how I try to sing all the time.
But where did you know what? Let's even just go right into it, man. Just to give folks a reminder on how Finger 11 got together, because most of the band members are still together.
Yeah, we've got the four original members. There were five of us, and then if you're Canadian, then you know that we started out as the Rainbow Butt Monkeys. That was our high school band, and I met James in middle school, so I was about 13 at the time, and he could play guitar, and I was interested in playing drums. And our music class got a brand new drum kit, and I was like, let's go in on the lunch hours, and we would go in on the lunch hours and pretend we were rock stars. Not that we would be making music, we would trash the music room like a couple of jerks. And we learned our lesson soon after that. We had to clean everything up. But after that moment, we're like, okay, every weekend, let's keep playing. Like, let's jam. Let's get together as much as we can. And then when high school came around, we met Rick, and then we met a better drummer than me, and we didn't have a singer. So I took over the singing position.
So
So
you didn't
that
even realize you could sing.
I mean, we were just busy. We were like, oh, yeah, we're a band. We should get a singer at some point. Okay. And I just took it over. I don't know. I liked to sing, but I also really liked to drum. So I honestly can't remember if we auditioned anybody or if it was, I don't know. But I definitely, I haven't been replaced yet. So that makes me super happy.
I remember back then when, um, and correct me if I'm wrong, it used to piss you guys off when people would always go back to the rainbow butt monkey thing, because it was like, we've told the story a million times. Why do you need to hear us say those words again?
I think there was a point where we had decided to make a change, right? We were like, we are not the Rainbow Butt Monkeys, we are Finger 11. And there was a point there where it was getting tiresome to try to get the story right, first of all, because people thought, oh, well, the label forced you guys to change formats or change, the name. And we're like, no, we forced it on them. We forced it on them, and they thought it was the world's worst idea. And we were like, well, we don't care because the things we're doing are different. Like we need to sort of have a demarcation line here where we're doing different stuff, and it meant a lot to us, right? So we were really precious and really serious. So having to justify that change over and over and over did get a little, I think we were a little cagey about it, but I think now that we've been Finger 11 for this time and we have some tunes and a little bit of credibility as Finger 11 under our belts, it's a little easier to kind of go like, yeah, that was a fun era. But I mean, it doesn't piss me off the way the way it maybe did at that point.
But you guys had a tough, I mean, talk about getting signed, because you guys were getting signed when the smaller labels were being taken over by the bigger labels. Plus, Napster was in full swing back then, so you didn't know what was going on with your music and getting paid and free. Can you talk about that point in time when you're in the band's career?
Well, yeah, we got signed, and then we got signed as the Rainbow Butt Monkeys, and the record got worked in the traditional sense, and we had I think 3 or 4 singles, which is awesome. Like that's great. That means the label really believes in you. And we toured Canada a bunch of times. Then we decided we were Finger 11, and they're like, okay, that's when the takeover happened, right? And the new crew came in and assured us, like, look, nobody's getting dropped. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And I think less than 24 hours we were dropped. After that dinner, it was like we got dropped so quick. But it was at a time where we were still really, really young. It was the first Finger 11 record. So we were, I don't know, maybe around late teens, maybe 20s. And we were still like, we didn't really flinch. We were like, okay, that's definitely a bummer. But like this stuff we're making, like we believe in it so much. Somebody else out there has to feel just a fraction of the way we feel about it. So we eventually got a deal out of New York. There was a record label, Wind Up Records, and
Yeah.
their first signing was the band Creed, who were taking over the planet at that point. So they had flown up to see us at Montreal. We opened for Thornley, and the the owner's wife just absolutely fell in love with us. So we got signed as their second signing, and boy, did they have they had some pretty high hopes. I mean, they they thought we were going to be as big as Creed, and it's they really did support us. And I don't know, it took I think 3 records for us to break through, like kind of in a worldwide kind of way, which is not like the world today where you're going to have that kind of label support. So that's kind of that's the story. It wasn't such a great thing that we got. Um, you know, we were kind of cast out because of the mergers that were happening, but it led to an awesome deal out of with an American label, and then ultimately, like it definitely, that success has kept us going for sure. So it all worked out.
What would you say was the song that actually put you guys on the map?
Um, you know what? We had some success, but the first song that made kind of everybody pay attention was One Thing, which is the third song. Sorry, it's off the third record. Um, and that just was a result of James and I finishing up ideas at a cottage. And he was messing around. Like it's a beautiful morning and the sun was out and he was by the lake, right? And I'm just waking up and he's playing this riff. I was like, whoa. Like, I was like, we've got a lot of work to do, but we should figure out where this goes. Like, let's tape that. Let's tape that now before we forget it. And then it wasn't maybe, I think maybe in a day or two, we had a full song. We brought it back to the guys, and there were a few songs on that from that session. There was a song called Stay in Shadow, which is again from the third record. And I thought that was going to be a smash hit. I thought that was the one people were going to sort of gravitate to. And the band was like, yeah, that's a good song. That's a good song. But like, what about this? Wow, that One Thing song. Wow. So that opened up a ton of doors. Like we got to go on a world tour, and like it did break things open. And then on the fourth record, it was of course, Paralyzer is just the song that won't stop. It's always a good time when we play that song. So yeah, but the first song that kind of changed things was One Thing.
When did you know, or did you know, that the WWE, back then known as WWF, was using your music in their wrestling stories and videos and stuff? Because One Thing was one of the big ones that they used a lot.
The only one that was sort of brought to my attention, because I wasn't really it wasn't kind of I wasn't in their world, but we had an opportunity where they said, okay, well, look, you guys, can you write a whole song around this one riff? There was, and I think there was a part of Kane's theme,
Mhm.
and it was part of rehearsal one day. We're like, okay, well, yeah, we've got to rehearse, but also there's, we should, like, let's see what happens. And I was up for the experiment, but I was like, I don't know anything about this character. I don't know anything about wrestling. I'm not going to write about that. I'm just going to write a song. And it turned out to be the song Slow Chemical, which I think was Kane's intro for like a long, long time. So they have, we've got a closer relationship with the WWE than I was aware of, but we also we got to meet Kane, and we got to go to those one like those like a big fan fest, and it was one of the weirdest moments of the band's career. It didn't really hit. It was confusing. I
Mhm.
confused the audience. It was super awkward, and we were just standing in this wrestling ring with a crowd of people. And Kane's whole gig is that he doesn't talk,
Right.
and but that's a whole other that's a whole other era. But the song has definitely been a favorite for you play a show, you're gonna have a guy yelling out "Slow Chemical." You're gonna have that guy.
What was going on with the band when the era changed, music changed, and people were drifting into a different sound? Then there are new artists. What was going on with Finger 11 back then after, I would say, maybe 2008, 2009? What was going on during that time?
So at that point, Paralyzer is out, and I think we're working on our fourth record. And the band has always paid attention to music, like as fans, as
Right.
guys up going to the record store and just buying as much as you could with your, with whatever money you had, which meant maybe buying 3 CDs at $26 a piece. That's that was our thing. So that hasn't changed. We just, it's just easier to get to music now. But all we would do is just collect music that we would like and argue about what was great and what wasn't. But as far as like trends,
Yeah.
that thing that Finger Eleven has never really paid attention to, for better or for worse. I think it frustrates producers sometimes, maybe frustrates labels, but at the idea when Finger Eleven decides to sit down and write some music, it's like, okay, well, whatever it is, fine. Let's explore it. And then we have to agree, is it good? Like, is it getting worse? The genre, whatever it is, if it's a rock song, if it's a mellow tune, if it's, some sort of whatever it happens to be, we'll chase until until everybody is happy. But there's never it's always frustrated me. Like sometimes you'll sit with a producer and the first thing they'll do is like look at the Billboard charts, and it's exhausting because it's a waste of everyone's time. Like if we were that good, if we could go, oh, okay, this is number one, let's figure out how to do that, then we would do that, I suppose. But that would feel really gross. But you're not going to be successful. Like you're not going to fool people uh, with your like a facsimile of whatever was. It's just something I've never been interested in. So um, the my my whole thing is like, well, look, let's just do what we do, and then we'll ride out the wave, and if people come around, then that's fine. But a good song can last a good long while, and if we can hit, like if a song can be discovered 5 years after you've written it, then I mean that's okay to me too.
Because one of the things I always feel bad about Canadian rock, which even to this day is freaking amazing, doesn't get enough radio play, especially these days. And you would think with the way now, because when you and I were first talking, man, Spotify, what the hell would that be? YouTube, I think we're kind of figuring that out. But Apple and all these other, platforms, we had no idea about. Uh, is it getting harder, do you think, for Canadian rock to get on radio? Because honestly, man, like again in Toronto, if it wasn't say like a Q107, or if you don't go out to the boonies, you're not going to hear that Canadian rock the way you would have back in my day.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to hear me complain about not getting enough radio play. I think we've been blessed over the years, and also, I mean, our new song is getting the attention. I think it hit number 2 on the rock charts. We can't seem to knock over the Foo Fighters, which I get. But I mean, just the idea to get that close to number 1 is amazing. And I don't know. I'm just not in a position to complain about that. And it's a refreshing feeling after not being on the radio for such a long time with new stuff. So it does feel kind of good. I feel great for the band that we wrote a song that we were really, really strongly hoping that people would, hear it and enjoy it. You're not always right about that when your instinct is it's just you don't always know. But the fact that this song is getting so much attention, I do not take it for granted. So, do I wish every station was playing it? Sure.
Then let's get to it, man, and make it official. Finger Eleven's got a new single out and a new video. What is the new single called, and what is it about? And also, can you describe the video, man? Because it's true Finger 11.
Well, it's a song called Together Right. And it's this song about this person that's in a bad situation, of their own volition, but is asking for help. But you really get the vibe that if you decide to help them, you're going down with them. That's kind of the idea, what the verse is presenting. The chorus kind of feels like it feels a little more optimistic than that, but I think the song kind of plays. I enjoy that, where if you're not really listening, it'll just sound like a cool cheer for unity. But the video is something else. The video is based on this like elaborate, really crazy dance routine that kind of slowly falls apart. It's like everybody is in like lockstep, and then these dancers do these. I can't describe the dance, but it's like like that the used car lot with like the the big balloon man that sort of like sways back and forth. They all start doing that, but like a little more elegant and with a really cool amount of energy. The and the band is playing and everybody's in these blue jumpsuits. But the original plan was to have the band do some of those dances. And I remember being really, really scared. And I was like, I can't I was watching the dancers do their routine. And I was like, man, I don't think we can do that. I can't move my body. Like, why would you expect I'm a musician. I mean, what how bad a dancer I am. And I went over to Jay, who, Jay was kind of in charge of the project. And I was like, James, I don't know if we can do these dances. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, the band's not dancing. We're just playing. We're just playing the song. And I was so relieved because when you watch the video, you'll know what I mean. These are professional dancers that are doing these like amazing moves, and I'm not going to learn these in an afternoon. It's going to be I wouldn't be able to learn them in a lifetime. So it's a pretty cool video. You never know exactly what you're making when you do these videos, and but however, I trust James 100%. But on the day, you just got it. You get what you get, and you use like whatever it is, all 10 hours of the day, and you try to make the best thing. But I've since watched it over and over and over because my son, who's 2.5, is trying to. That's part of his bedtime routine. He needs to watch Dad's new video, and he is doing these moves. Like for him, dancing this is the dancing that he's seen so far. It's like contorting yourself and like whipping yourself around in a blue jumpsuit. So we'll see how that evolves.
You can get him to learn the paralyzer dance too.
Yeah, he is less interested in the paralyzer video. We've tried to knock him off of this habit of watching Together Right. Some of the stuff he doesn't like, some of his dad's other stuff. So what are you gonna do?
Hey, you know what? He's new to the world, and if he loves that, then that means we all got to jump on that one too, man. Which I love it. Is this song going on a greatest hits album that's coming out? What's going on? Because I heard something about that.
Yeah, so we put this song on our greatest hits, which released just recently, and it's kind of great because, well, we thought we were really hoping it was going to be a hit, and we turned out to be right. um, but we put out the greatest hits because that was something that it was a long overdue project that we finally got around to, and then yet another milestone was to actually put something. Fans have been asking, like, when are you guys going to do a vinyl? And
Yeah.
finally just put those two together, like, okay, well, let's put the greatest hits out, and if we're going to do that, let's put it out on vinyl. And I'm happy to say that those two things finally happened.
Fantastic. Cannot wait for that, man. Um, Tour. What's going on, man? We gonna see you perform this live?
Yes, Finger 11 is going to be really, really busy this year and into next year. We're basically in August and September and November. We're going to be in Canada and the US. You can check the dates at Instagram and our website. But yeah, like we're a band that's always loved playing. We're a live band, and things are getting a little bit busier now, I think, because of the new song, and it's a lot of fun to sing. People are starting to react to it now, so I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody when we get back out there.
Last question, because Finger 11 is back with new music, any chance we'll get a new Christmas song from you guys? Because usually this is the time when artists record for the holiday season, and there aren't enough rock Christmas songs out there.
I think it would be so good to just capture that lightning in a bottle, where it's like, oh, this is not only a good Christmas song, but it's just a good song. I don't know if we're the band to do that. We'll try, but we've just got to get more new music out, whether it's Christmas songs out. The chances are not zero, but boy, they're slim. They're slim. We'll see what happens.
Either way, man, we got you back. We got the music back. We got you live. That's all that matters. And we got the continuation of Finger 11. My brother, thank you so much for the interviews from back in the day with you and the band. Thank you so much for this interview. Looking forward to talking to you soon. Please, I hope you guys submit it, man, to the Junos, because I'd love to be talking to you on another red carpet.
Oh
And
my.
cross fingers with that, man. Look, I'm pushing for this. Okay. Because, like I said, you guys were one of my favorite bands. You still are. And I love the fact you guys are back. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My pleasure.